Hello and welcome to Coffee with Dr. Carla. I'm Dr. Carla and I have Jenny here with me today. And we are very glad that you're here with us. And today our goal is to talk about various mental health related issues and the stigma surrounding them. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I know that one of the things that we've talked about in the past is, just what it took for you to finally get help. So maybe could you share with all of us, what it was like to finally, okay, you make this decision and then what happens?
Yeah. What steps did I take
Yeah.
next? I think once I got past the idea that I did not need to be in a hospital,
Okay.
I did not need, to stay overnight, to leave my house, to, leave my kids and my family. Um, Once I realized it was something that, you call your doctor or you call a clinic, such
Mm-hmm.
as, yourself, and you pick out a therapist or whatever it may be, the route that you decide to go. For me, it was finding somebody that I clicked with.
Right.
Again, not being in a hospital with some doctor peering down your throat saying this is what's wrong with you and this is what you should do.
Right.
So once I took the step, I found somebody that I worked very well with. I was very comfortable with, and you just start talking. And once you're committed to it, I think that would be another thing, Carla, that you really have to focus on is that you have to commit to getting better.
Right.
Not that you're not a good person, not that you're not good right now, but with mental health, once I decided and I recognized that something was wrong, I wanted to go somewhere and talk to somebody that was going to help me sort it out. And finding a therapist was definitely the first thing. And I had to dedicate time, appointments. Um, I had to dedicate possibly homework.
Yeah.
You know, I had to write journals. I had to think a lot. I had to be willing to go back and unlock some closed doors that,
Maybe we're a little tough, huh?
mm-hmm, some things that you just don't want to revisit. But in order to heal, I realized that that was a big part of it. And then the work put forth, and then also being able to listen. I had to listen to my therapist. Even
Hmm.
though you, at my age you didn't want to hear someone telling you what could help you,
Right.
once I opened up to that idea, it really helped.
So, you mentioned find the right therapist, somebody who you click with. Um, did you get lucky and find the right person in the first try or?
No,
Okay.
but you can't give up.
Okay.
Again, there comes that dedication
Right.
to,
Right.
just like sometimes your job doesn't click or you don't click with a friend. You don't click, you have to click with that therapist or counselor, whatever it may be,
Right. Sure.
because you're going to dig into some things that really, are private. So you don't want to just settle for anyone. And that person also has to want to listen to you.
Right. Right.
So I
Yeah,
didn't
good
get
fit.
lucky.
Yeah, good fit is so important. And I'm glad you didn't give up because I often hear people say, well, I tried, but I'm not trying anymore because you never could find the right fit. So,
Very true. I mean, it was three or four. By the time I found the right one, she was definitely like, I think, number five.
oh, okay. So, yeah, you
But
kept,
that's over a long course of time.
okay. Okay.
But I didn't give up, and that's part of why I'm here being able to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is going to be helpful for somebody out there because um, I think finding that, well, you finally make the decision and then you show up in an office and you're like, oh,
This is not what I
no,
thought it was going to be.
right, yeah. And so to know that you can make another decision, another appointment, you
Hmm.
could seek out other people for help. Okay, so you mentioned a therapist or a counselor as being a good ally. Any other professionals that you pulled on?
Um, Through the years, another part of my mental health would be allowing the factor that medication might help you.
Okay,
There's a huge stigma. I think mental health sits in one plate, but yet medication almost is a separate entity. And once you come to the understanding that maybe that'll help me get to that next level of feeling better, then you have to. I sought out a psychiatrist,
right,
and I think that that was also a hard fit because again, you have to find someone that you feel comfortable with. And sometimes, well, most of the time, it does take quite some time to figure out what medication might suit you and
Right.
help your symptoms and fit into your lifestyle.
Right. So, yeah, and that's hard to trust that you're going to take something that's going to alter essentially your being,
Sure,
and then wait it out because
it doesn't happen.
most medication takes 6 to 8 weeks to kick in to even start to know whether or not it's the right stuff, and then to be like, yeah, okay, that didn't work,
Yep,
and then start over again.
let's try again.
Right.
Um, Again, I think that was the dedication, and once I found that, it really kept me going forward. Um, but I also don't want people to be discouraged if you did give up, because it's all about how many times you get back up and keep trying it. Because there was many times where I walked in and I'm like, this isn't what it's supposed to be like, or this medication really took a bomb. But
Right.
you just have to keep going.
Well, and I think a point I want to bring up is that I was really pleased to hear you say that you went to a psychiatrist or several psychiatrists until you found the right one. And I think too often people are afraid to go to
Yep.
a psychiatrist because they have a bad rap or whatever the case may be, and then they end up going to their primary care doctor.
General.
Yeah, their general physician, and while it might be more comfortable to have a conversation with that person, um, mental health is not their area of
Hmm.
specialty. Unfortunately, there are plenty of primary care physicians out there who will prescribe for anxiety or depression or things to that nature, ADHD. Um, and maybe it works. But unfortunately, they had a rotation in their residency, and that's about
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah. And I did have that experience actually.
Did
Your
you?
your general practitioner was always, pretty quick to want to help you, which is any doctor would be.
Sure.
But as somebody that it took some time to accept mental health and to go through the steps and to kind of walk that path, I would really suggest that, yeah, you take the time to find yourself a psychiatrist that is much more knowledgeable in the field.
Right. Yeah. It's tough, because we want to. I mean, it's already a tough subject, and so to talk to somebody who you trust because you're there for a variety of things. So the primary care person seems like the best place to start,
They're your
but
doctor.
they're your doctor, right? They know you better. But unfortunately, that doesn't always work. Okay, so you got the courage to get in and try a couple different therapists till you finally found the right fit. Same thing with psychiatrists. For you, and I realize this is going to be different for everybody.
Sure, yes.
What 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 modalities or what way of working did you find to be most helpful? Right?
Um, Talking. I'm a very big talker. Sometimes people, I know some others like art, some people like reading about it, self to try to educate yourself. I educated on my own. I, read stuff, but then once I met that therapist and that psychiatrist, I went to them and directly brought, is this what's happening, or could this be why this happened? Because
Okay.
you also ask yourself why a lot. Why me? Why did this happen to me? Did I do something? And once you have that team, because it really takes a team,
Right.
um, then you can ask all those questions and feel open about it and be willing to what do you want to call it, almost explore mental illness or your mental illness, because it
Sure.
is individual. There's no one way to explain it because it could be different for everybody. But I also liked, my therapist had a lot of different methods, but writing letters, um, whether they're delivered, whether they're saved, whether you never open the envelope again,
Letters to.
yourself, to other people that were involved in your life prior to you recognizing mental illness, that you feel like I really just wish they understood where I was at that time. That was pretty cathartic for me.
Okay.
And then a timeline. I know that sounds funny, maybe very childish, but almost to have a timeline of your life and to say, here's where I started. Here's, my in between.
Yeah.
Here's where I started to recognize something was wrong and where I'm at now. And it's a journey. So the timeline really helped me. And then I was able to pick out those moments that really needed more in depth
Right.
work on my mental illness.
And I bet you could probably also pick out times where you could show victories too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Those are definitely there. And you forget about those, which is another really good thing. You know, mental illness, it makes you think that everything is wrong. But there's a lot of good in there.
Yeah, yeah. I think celebrating our victories is so important.
Is
So
very important.
yeah, so a timeline can at least allow you to show both sides of the coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So thinking about your journey and getting the help, right? What do you what would be your advice to somebody who is just starting out?
Take it slow. It's very overwhelming. It could feel heavy. It's heavy on your shoulders. When they say depression has a dark cloud, things could get pretty dark.
Yeah.
Um, but as you mentioned, try to think, even if it's just for a split second, of the good things. Because just that little ray of light that comes in, hold on to that and realize that you can get back there.
Okay.
Um, just, again, just take it slow and ask for help and keep trying.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing a little bit of your journey with us.
Sure.
So remember, you can change your thoughts and discover your potential and transform your life by focusing in on your overall well being. So until next time, continue working on being the best you possible. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.